Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about the S&P 500. It's been really a while since I updated it the last time. A lot of days and even weeks have passed, but the reality is, you can't do everything. So, however, I know the S&P 500, a lot of people are really interested in it, and therefore we're gonna take an updated look at the S&P 500, also where my expectations are about the S&P 500 going forward. And we're gonna take a look at the short term first, and then we are going to take a look at the longer term afterwards. Yeah, so I want to share with you also when I think the big crash is coming, because a lot of people are always talking about the big crash. They've been talking about this for years now. Now there hasn't been a big crash, and the market moves in waves, and at the moment for me the S&P 500 is still very bullish. So generally I expect prices to continue to go up in terms of stocks and shares, but also this has an impact on the crypto market as well. As we know, in the recent weeks and months, that the crypto market generally has followed the S&P 500 as well, and the sentiment seems to be very, very similar. Now, generally a comment why I think that TA works, and normally if you say TA wouldn't work, you could argue that in reality, what's going on in the world currently, the stocks and the world markets should really be down to earth. They should be crashing, absolutely. We've got high inflation, we've got it's not controllable anymore, we've got a war. The prices should go down, but they don't. And also the Elliott waves are pointing towards further price increases. So let me share with you where I think we are here in terms of the S&P 500. So I shared it on the private Telegram group I think a week ago or so, that I expect the S&P 500 now to turn around. I think it did go up a few more days, but it's now starting to turn around. It did extend a little bit higher than expected, but it's looking like that we're currently starting to turn around. And I think we could get some nice entries here again, not only into the S&P 500, but also generally into stocks and shares that obviously are related, because we currently see a little bit of a dip, as you can see up here. So in terms of the Elliott wave count, what I think is that we have completed a wave 3. So you can see here that this was a higher degree wave 4 here, back end of February. We've then come up in a wave 1, completed a wave 2 of that next wave 5. Yeah, so we've come up in a wave 1, had our ABC correction, completed our wave 2, and now we are here basically in a wave 3. Yeah, so that would be somewhere up there, that wave 3, because within that wave 3 we obviously have to have 5 waves as well. Yeah, so we can put that onto the chart now. We're gonna take a look at that now. So let's just label that like that. Okay, so the first, I can see it clearly here. This is the first wave here to the upside within that wave 3, yeah, would be that one. So you're coming up here in that wave 1, and you're correcting down immediately in that wave 2. Oops. So okay, and by the way, this is now in that wave 3. So let's take a look. So you've got this green wave 3, yeah. In here you need 5 waves. So we have our wave 1, 2, yeah, and the next one would be up here. That is the wave 3, and it might be a bit confusing, but in my opinion that works out pretty well, because again, this is the wave 3 peak, yeah. So again, you can see already that we have a wave 4 coming, and the wave 5 will complete this wave 3. That already tells you that after that you have another wave 4 and the wave 5. So we can climb much, much higher here. So basically then within this wave 3, we need to label it like that, because within this you have 5 more waves. So there are different ways how to count this. And just to really show you here, I would personally count it like that we have our wave. Oh no, you need to do it differently. So that wave 1 would be just here. It's a bit hard to see. Have we wave 1, and you come down into wave 2, and now within that wave 3 you then start again here at the low, yeah, and we're coming up here in the wave 1, 2. Then we've got again 5 waves here that we can count, and that gives us that wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and wave 5. Just so that you've seen it, I don't want to put you too many numbers on the chart, but in my opinion that would be the wave 3. And now you can already see that we have within an ABC correction that wave 4 coming. So it is very important now, first of all, to understand, is that wave 3 really finished already? Yeah, and for that, ideally what you want to know or want to have is the Fibonacci extensions. So let's take a look with the Fibonacci extension tool. What we want to know is the Fib extensions of that wave 1. Yeah, so all right, so the minimum target for a wave 3, yeah, and you can see that here, would be the 1.618 Fibonacci extension here around $4,600. Now that was reached. We even reached the 1.786 Fib extension, which is another level that you often reach in these waves 3. We haven't reached the 200% yet. Yeah, so at least the minimum requirement for a wave 3 is reached, and also we did overshoot it a little bit. And the way we are now coming down, I think we can be very certain that this wave 3 was already in. Okay, so because if we then take a look at how much does normally that wave 4 retrace, so typically you would say it comes down to the 38.2% Fib level. And if I draw now here these Fib retracements, you can see here that this is the 21.4% Fib level. That is the absolute minimum to which normally a wave 4 retraces to, here at 4,540 roughly. But ideally you would reach here this area, and this is also my next target area here for the S&P 500, here between the 38.2% Fib level all the way down to, yeah, I would say the 61.8, which would be at $4,400 here roughly. Now make that a different color, maybe green. Yeah, so a little bit of more downside is now expected. So far this is all worked out. As I said, last week I think I posted on the Telegram group that we are probably coming down here, that I expect a little bit of exhaustion, and we have seen now this turnaround in an A, B, you know, depending on how you want to count it. Don't know if we've already seen that wave B here, but that would be the range here between 4,400 roughly and yeah, 4,500, which would be the 38.2% Fib level. So somewhere in here, personally, I think it would be, for anybody who is interested in another entry, you could consider that. This is of course no financial advice, but this is where I would expect the price to land. Yeah, bear in mind it can also stop a little bit higher because we have already reached the 21.4% Fibonacci retracement level. And you know, after that, what would we expect after that? When we reach it and somewhere in this area we could turn around, then if we by the way, it can even go a little bit lower. Yeah, it can go a little bit lower, but let's keep it for now like that. And if the price goes in quite impulsively, then we probably have to reduce it, bring it down a little bit further. But here you can see it actually on the chart that we have here the 200-day moving average in yellow. So that is actually exactly running where the 38.2% Fib level is. So that could provide some support here. So obviously after that you would then be expected here to finish that wave 5. And that would complete also a higher degree wave 3. Yeah, so we can expect here further upside for various stocks and shares, generally for the markets. That would be the next expectation, that then here in this wave 5 or the higher degree wave 3, we can come into, yeah, probably here into the region a little bit higher than the wave 3, maybe all the way up to $4,800. So that would be some nice upside. After that, you would see a larger wave 4. So we would come down again in this wave 4. Where these will land exactly, it is impossible to say now, because we first need to see if this and where this wave 4 retraces to, how high does the wave 5 go. Then we can calculate the retracement of this higher degree wave 3 or wave 4. Yeah, and obviously after that wave 4, you have another wave 5. So, and that is how I would see here in the shorter term, the S&P 500, meaning that next week we could see a little bit more downside. I mean, it's a bit difficult because we obviously can expect this as an ABC as well. So what could happen actually, I mean, we haven't really seen a wave B here yet, in my opinion. So what you could see here, that this is actually the wave A. You're coming then up in another wave B, and then you move down in your wave C deeper here into the target area. So there could be a little bit of a counter move to the upside, but generally what I would expect is further here, a little bit more downside. Yes, there can be some short-term upside, but I think we need to finish that wave 4 before we then can climb higher in that wave 5 to finish that high degree wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. So that could take us into the region of, as I said, 4,800, maybe even a little bit higher. Now, this scenario is remains intact, I think, until, and we should not drop below that wave 2 here. So then we need to look at the whole wave count again. That would be here around the area of 4,240. So should not be able to, or should not drop below that level. That would be a pretty critical level that we need to hold. Yeah. Again, if we lose that, then we can fall further. I think then we could look at levels of around here $4,100. And again, if you lose that here, that wave 4 low, then yeah, further downside. But at the moment, it's looking pretty impulsive what's coming up here. Now we start a little bit corrective wave here, and then further upside expected. So let's now take a look at the longer term view here for the S&P 500. So this is the longer term 4-day chart for the S&P 500. It's really a long-term view. And back here in, yeah, I think this was the low here of that wave 3 back in 2009. Yeah, so this is really like a you know, a very, very large high degree or higher degree wave. Yeah, wave 4. And that wave 5 will be ending somewhere in that region, around a region, in my opinion, around, yeah, maybe $7,500, which would indicate there is much more upside possible. So why is that the case? Because we can count it that way. Yeah. So if we take a look and just go through here the higher level wave count, and I just want to really show you here how we can count this. So let me just adjust that properly. So what you can see here, we obviously need to find a 5 wave count all the way to that high degree wave 5 here. Yeah, because a wave 5 also has 5 waves within it. And we can start simply here by just want to show you really how we can count this. So this here would be back in 2010, we have a wave 1, 2. Then very significantly, that here would be the wave 3, 4, and then you come up here in that wave 5. So we're currently in this movement that I just showed you here before. We are currently in this 5th wave. Yeah. And within this 5th wave, so all of these details here, what's happening here in this wave 3, it's pretty much pointless to really go through it. But again, you have a series of 1-2 setups here that is just a reason for this long extended wave 3. So again, you know, you've got your first wave 1, 2, then you've got another wave 1, 2, then you've got another wave 1, 2. So these are all 1-2s. Then you've got your first 3, 4 in here, 3, 4, you can count that. Then you've got, and it gets very messy because you open all these 1-2s and you have to close them again. So again, this is a very, very long count in here. I don't want to put all these counts here on the chart. Just really wanted to keep it fairly simple and show you here these higher level degree waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 5th wave. And this is a very, very important message. And all these counts that I just showed you here in the detail before, in that current 5th wave, they will all lead here to a certain point. At the moment, what I can see, it would be in the region around 7,000 to 7,500 US dollars, where we would then end those 5th waves. And that means we can expect a significant correction then but we are still far away from that. As I just showed you, we are currently here in a third wave. Yeah, so it might be a little bit too far out what I showed you here. That fifth wave might be somewhere here, yeah, maybe sort of towards, maybe even sort of towards the end of this year. We need to see. We need to see. But what is happening here in detail, what I showed you, now go back to the, yeah, probably here back to the 4-hour chart. Right, so bear in mind, what we're doing here is only to complete that fifth wave here in white. And you've got this green wave 3 coming down in wave 4, going up in a wave 5, and then as part of that, you know, you still have to close that fifth wave here as well. So, you know, I'll take you through it as we go through in the next few days and weeks. So I'll try to keep this updated more regularly. Very important in the short term is just that view that we are coming down a little bit lower probably here before we really can start the next impulse of that next wave 3. So indicating that probably next week for all gold channel members as well, I will update some of my trade entries because stocks have dipped a little bit in the last week, and I expect that to continue a little bit until we reach that target area here. And then I would formulate some more entries for certain stocks and shares because they usually adhere to the S&P 500 and the general market sentiment. So that's my view here currently of the S&P 500. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.